think would be a surprise slide in the draft?
A couple different players. I think you're going to see a defensive player slide down. I think Haskins could slide down too.
Okay.
But I think a defensive player, be it a Greedy Williams, who we just mentioned him in the top 10, could be at mid to late round 1 range. I think DeAndre Baker. I think one of Ed Oliver or Brian Burns is going to slide down a little bit. Because I think Montez Sweat's going to go high. If 3 quarterbacks go in the top 15, if not 4, all of a sudden, that pushes defensive guys down. I think Jonah Williams could slide down a bit too.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys to do 2 things. First, Google Steel Hardwood. Second,
don't do that.
Download My TV Choice app today at mytvchoice.com. If you don't want to watch annoying commercials anymore, you don't have to. When you download the My TV Choice app, you can get NCAA scores, highlights, you can get MLB standings, NFL latest draft headlines, NFL rumors, everything. Download it today at mytvchoice.com. Let's go now to Buffalo, where they're interested in Taylor, because he visited today. Jawaan Taylor, offensive tackle out of Florida. Tom?
I'm intrigued. The Bills invested a lot in terms of their offense line, which I think was a smart move by them, because they needed to help protect Josh Allen. Before they signed Tynan Secchi, I thought that Taylor was a really good fit for them at number 9. I think he might make more sense now even for the Jacksonville Jags at 7. But if Taylor's on the board, you can draft him. Worst case, Secchi becomes a fantastic tackle, which I don't think he'd like very much because he wants to start right now. But he is a little bit older. So Taylor, I think, profiles as a right tackle in the NFL, was so much better this year than he was last year. It's almost like Florida actually had competent coaching this year because they didn't beforehand. So Taylor there in round 1, I think it makes some sense in the end for them. So going after Taylor would be a good fit if they don't have a defensive player that they want instead. But Taylor, I think, might be the first OT off the board in the end.
Now, when I look at the top 2019 offensive tackle prospects, we have Jonah Williams out of Alabama, number 1, who's kind of been our number 1 guy since the start of this whole thing. Jawaan Taylor at number 2. Dalton Reisner starting to rise up our boards at number 3. Tom, out of these top prospects, do you agree with our rankings 1, 2, 3?
Yes, because they are mine. So yes, I do agree with these rankings being the case. And then 5's Cody Ford, 4 is Cody Ford, 5 is Andre Dillard.
Andre Dillard. Make sure you guys subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Make sure you guys follow Tom at What Going Downey and Mitchell Renz here at Mitchell Renz 365. All right, make sure you guys are using that hashtag NFL to get your questions featured because let's be real, you guys aren't here for us. You're here to get on the show. So Will Black, first off, get a picture. And second, with Josh Rosen reporting, due to the Cardinals draft defense, or still go with Murray?
It is in my best interest that I stick with on Brandis and just say we're going to wait about Kyler Murray all the way up until the end. If I have to change it, I have to change it. But I'm also not going to be naive and read too much into this. Like, if Rosen didn't report, done deal, he's gone. This at least allows you to have some type of flexibility. I'm not convinced Arizona's made up their mind, but I wouldn't assume that, because Josh Rosen reported, therefore he's not going to be traded. Even for Rosen himself, it makes a lot more sense to do all the right things right now.
I totally agree. It's only going to help his stock, and I think the Cardinals are also saying, like, hey, Josh, like, you're going to help us out too.
The Cardinals are at least leaking that they haven't traded Josh or haven't had interest in trading Josh Rosen yet, but that also might just be posturing. So,
well, Keith King, back to you, my man. Cody Ford to Carolina, hashtag NFL. Thank you for using that hashtag.
This is intriguing to me. Now, I don't know about 16, but if there's runner offensive lineman, sure. Cody Ford to me is a right tackle or a right guard prospect. I think there's a little bit of similarity there with Taylor Motton in terms of the way that they could play ideally Carolina. If I'm Carolina, I want Motton on the right side. I think that's his best long-term fit. But you could take Cody Ford in round 1, play him at guard, and that sets you up well long-term, be it with Cody Ford and Motton, or if you put Motton on the left side, Cody Ford and Darrell Williams. It might be a little bit early for Ford, but if you prioritize protecting Cam Newton, I'm not going to be mad about it.
Yeah, I think
that makes sense.
I think we can all agree Cam Newton is the most important player on that team. Now, Christian McCaffrey's definitely putting his name up there, but I think that team's going to run through Cam Newton. Mr. Pickleberry. Wow, I could do a lot of things with that
Who's
name.
your Huckleberry, though?
See, I was thinking he was going to go Brickleberry. I like the cartoon show.
Of course.
With the Browns bringing in the 2 new players at the safety position, should they draft safety with their first pick in the 2nd round or go best player available?
I think in general they should go best player available. But I also think that a safety might be the best guy on the board at that point. You could have Jonathan Abram. You could have Taylor Rapp, Juan Thornhill. So I'm not going to rule out safety. But with the additions of Morgan Burnett and Eric Murray, I might target cornerback now instead.
Okay.
And find a running mate for Denzel Ward. You can find a bigger, lankier guy, maybe a Justin Lane if he's there somehow, maybe an Isaiah Johnson if you want to go project type there, or maybe Rocky Sin still on the board. That might make more sense with the way the roster's currently set up.
You see the lightning over there? Well,
Did
now you're
not
about
see
to hear
lightning.
the thunder from 404. Do you think that the Giants could go D at number 6 and then trade up with the Bills from 17 to 9 and give up a second-round pick if Haskins is available?
If you want Haskins, you should just take him at 6.
Okay.
Like, you start to play a very dangerous game. Why all of a sudden is he not worth the 6th pick, but worth the number 9 overall pick?
Because you're Dave Gettleman and everything that you've done, and this is an entire coin flip, and I don't know what you're doing.
Okay, valid points. But I do think you could see Denver going defense at 6 and saying, let's wait and see if a guy like Daniel Jones is there at 17. That's kind of my fear right now for the Giants.
Oh, my Lord.
Which I honestly don't want to do to them. I don't want to mock that pick because I don't want to mock Daniel Jones to anyone in round 1. But the more and more I think about it, the Giants are that pivot point for me right now as I go through some various mock draft theories. They could go defense or they could go quarterback. That has a massive impact on the rest of the NFL draft because if a team doesn't trade up for a quarterback after 6, where do they go? 10 and 11? They kind of slide a little bit there.
Fair enough. All right, let's go to Just Your Average Baller because, well, first off, if you want to be a big baller, go to chatsports.com/bet and use our promo code LIVE120 where you'll get a 120% deposit bonus and then you'll be a big baller. All right, so do you see the Niners signing Eric Berry?
I won't rule it out, but I'd be a little bit surprised because they re-signed Jimmy Ward. We'll see where he actually plays this year. They re-signed Antoine Exum. They have some intriguing young pieces. You can play DJ Reed at safety. I still think you should play Tavarius Moore, but they played him at cornerback last year, whatever. Jaquaski Tart is still there as well. You have Adrian Colbert, who was great the previous year and then was awful this year, so who knows what he actually is. They do like their injured players, but I don't think they're going to target Berry instead. I don't know where he ends up right now.
I don't know what to even think of Eric Berry. Sure, when he's healthy,
Put him in Green Bay.
Okay. That'd be pretty
Yeah.
interesting. All right, we're going to Facebook now. Guys, we're watching on YouTube, Facebook. Make sure you guys get those comments in. Use hashtag NFL. Could you see the Niners trading back from 2? Call me crazy, but I'm not completely sold on Bosa.
The Niners would be foolish to not consider it. If a team like the Raiders said, hey, look, we'll give you our 24th overall pick too, you might just want to do it at that point.
Okay.
Because that gets you 2 premier players. Now, I don't think they would, but there are reasons to have some fears about Nick Bosa.
I totally agree.
Namely the injuries and the production. But I'll tell you guys what, if Bosa had played every game this year, the way he looked in those first couple of games, he would have put up numbers like Josh Allen. He was incredible early. So I understand the concerns, but I think it's worthwhile taking him at number 2 overall.
All right, Just Your Average Baller. Nope, Abner Meso. Fooled you. What do you think the Dolphins, or who do you think the Dolphins might draft? I'm bad with words, guys.
I think they're going to target interior offense, or trench play. Offensive line, defensive line have major needs. I think they're going to wait on quarterback. Hope they don't take Ryan Tannehill 2.0 and Daniel Jones. So I'm looking at
crossed.
an edge rusher like Brian Burns, an interior defensive lineman like Ed Oliver, or who I think I might end up making my actual mock draft pick. Jonah Williams would be fantastic. Play him at right tackle, play him at guard. You got needs everywhere on the offensive line. Williams comes in and is instantly one of your best offensive linemen. I think that makes a lot of sense for them.
All right, we're going back to Facebook. John Edward Kruger, Colts, first-round pick.
I think their dream first-round pick is Christian Wilkins. I don't think he's there, though. I don't think he lasts that far. I think they could go receiver, which some Colts fans didn't like, but your receiving core needs depth. I'm sorry there. It needs more impact players. So maybe someone like an A.J. Brown. If you want to get wild with it, defensive tackle. He might be a redshirt player. What about Jeffrey Simmons, who immensely talented off-the-field red flags and injury red flags. But if he was fully healthy, in terms of on-field grade only, he'd be a top 5 pick.
All right, looks like we got a nice little super chat from Raider Rich. I'm almost wondering if this is my dad. Will the Raiders select Quinnen Williams? Hashtag NFL. I'll take this one since I'm the guy that runs the Raiders show here.
Big if true.
Sure, like, could the Raiders select Quinnen Williams? Absolutely. And make sure you guys subscribe to the #1 Raiders channel, youtube.com/Raiders Report. If he's on the board and Nick Bosa, Josh Allen are off the board, he's our #1 player on our big board for a reason. I think they absolutely could, but if there's a scenario where Josh Allen or Nick Bosa are there,
I think that if Bosa, Allen there, they're the picks. They're
yes.
very close talent-wise, and it fills such a larger need. Quinnen doesn't really fill a need.
A lot of people have been asking me Devin White or Quinnen Williams.
Yes, I think that is going to be the discussion in the draft room that night. Or they'll have already figured it out. But I think it comes down to Quinnen or Devin White. They like Devin White.
Yep.
So I think they'd go Quinnen, but Devin White's kind of that sleeper pick. It's not to have a sleeper pick in the top 5, but still.
Absolutely. All right, Noah, what's going on, my man? Maybe the NFL should draft Mitch and Tom. What number and round would you think you would be drafted at? You go first.
First off, what position would you even play?
I think the only thing I would ever have
quarterback?
No, I would try to play wide receiver and just catch the ball and fall.
Okay, that's not a great strategy. You typically want to run after you catch the ball. I'm pretty sure I'd be a first-round pick. I mean,
see, I think I'd go.
Who doesn't want a 6-foot out of shape slow receiver? Like, who doesn't want that in the NFL?
I'd probably be a 3rd round, 69th overall.
Got Devin Funchess draft.
That's probably what I'd go. All right, super chat. Joe Terror something.
Oh, I should have made Kelvin Benjamin joke.
Where do you
Totally
see
botched
the
it.
Eagles going in the 1st round?
Not cornerback.
Where's the draft being held?
It's being held in Nashville.
There you go. There's your answer.
I was going to say running back. I think they're going to target trench play. Maybe an offensive tackle. I think defense tackle makes sense too. I haven't thought, and then, actually I forgot the most important one. Safety. If Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's there, that's a good pick for them. That's a really good pick for Philadelphia. And I think with some aging at safety, namely Malcolm Jenkins, you can have your long-term replacement right there. I think Johnson would be a fantastic player as a free safety, strong safety, nickel cornerback hybrid.
Looking at the comments, I think Damian Flores has it spot on. Mitch at wide receiver and Tom at long snapper. All right, Gucci boy, you're coming up next. Hashtag NFL, the NFC West is shaping up to be the best division for years to come.
Oh, careful. It always ebbs and flows. So it's in good shape right now.
Is it, though?
If the Niners take a step forward, yes.
Sure, if a bunch of teams take a step forward.
But like in terms of likely to take a step forward, aren't the Niners one of those teams?
Yep.
And then you've got the Rams and Seahawks and Niners, whatever about Arizona.
But I'm saying, like, we're saying 2 teams are questionable. To say that they're the best division for years to come?
I think the Niners are trending in the right direction. So I
How
don't know
many-
about best, but they're setting up well.
How many wins will the Niners have?
9.
You think 9?
I think 9. If Jimmy G actually stays healthy for a year.
I'm going to go with 8-8. And if you guys want to bet on how many games the Niners are going to win, there's one place to do it. It's at BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Go to chatsports.com/bet and use our promo code LIVE120 for 120% deposit bonus. Tom, best deal out there.
Absolutely is. That's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code LIVE120.